So hey y'all, so as people know, The Cruel Prince is a popular book series by Holly Black. It's about a human girl who lives in fairy and is caught up in the game of kings and queens, as I believe Jude, who is the main character, might have put it. I'm not entirely sure if she phrases it exactly that way, but that's how I remember it. And I do believe it is very overhyped. So don't get me wrong, I do like The Cruel Prince. I do like it. It's a good series. I think it's well written. So there are several reasons why I like it. So there are like some really good, well written, complex characters. So for example, our main character Jude, she's very well written. I don't know how else to really describe her. She's like very courageous, definitely more of an introvert. She loves to fight. Her character growth is very well written. And then there is Cardan. So I did not love him at first. He is another good character. The amount of times I'm gonna say good character in this review is a lot. So he's very manipulative, and he loves to play games, and like he's definitely a trickster. He is very, his character growth is really good. Spoiler alert for those who have not read it. You can skip to the next chapter if you do not want a spoiler. I love how well he steps into his role as High King. So I mean, in the first book, I am primarily talking about the first book here. I would like to state that right now, but in the first book, he is very resistant to becoming king. And then I love how after Jude's being captured, I feel like he steps into that role very well. He is very arrogant and manipulative, and I really like that. For some reason, I like that. And then another example of a complex character is, unfortunately, Locke. Yes, I hate him with a passion. I hate him. I want to punch him, but he's still very well written that I have to mention it here. He, like Cardan, loves to play games. He loves stories, which is very interesting, and he loves to start stories. And because of that, he plays a lot with multiple characters throughout the book, and I hate him. I hate him for some of the stuff that he has done. I'm trying to keep this review as spoiler-free as possible. So another example of a good, well-written character is Oriana. I didn't love her at first, but I still don't love her. But I feel like I grew to like her more as we got to know her character. So like once we learned more about her backstory and about all of the stuff that she kind of went through, and why she married Madoc and all of that different stuff. I just started to understand her character a bit more, if that makes any sense. So another reason why I liked The Cruel Prince is that it has a very intriguing plot. So there is the romance. I'm not going to spoil it for you if you have not read the entire series, but Cardan and Jude, they are the definition of enemies to lovers. I don't think I've read a true like enemies to lovers besides the Dance of Thieves, like until I read this. Like they went from her holding a knife to his throat and threatening to kill him to them kissing, and then eventually more stuff happens with the plot and they just start to fall in love, and I absolutely love that. And I love how they feel for each other, but they hate the way that they feel for each other. It's just very entertaining to read about. And in case you cannot tell, enemies to lovers is one of my favorite tropes, especially in fantasy, because I love all of the tension that it causes and just gives me the feels. And so I do ship Jude and Cardan. Yeah, I definitely do. So the politics also created a lot of tension, which made it more intriguing. So I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but a lot of the book, like, a lot of people think that The Cruel Prince is romantasy. It's not. There isn't, like, actually a lot of romance, which I definitely went into it expecting there to be romance. Really, there wasn't a lot. But still, for me, the reason why I kept reading it was because it's just like all of the politics and the tension, and I do actually like some amount of politics in fantasy books as long as it still remains interesting, and it definitely did for The Cruel Prince. And then also the world building, I really enjoyed it. It was really good. The story itself is very well written. I do like Holly Black's writing. I can't say that I'm the biggest fan of it, but I definitely do like it. So there are several reasons why I didn't like it. So one of them is that there are not enough likable characters. So really it's like what I would define as a likable or like lovable character would be something like complex, or someone that's complex and funny and just like all of those things. And I mean, I did like a lot of the characters in it, but I can't say that I found them likable, if that makes any sense. I don't think I'm making that much sense, so I do apologize. But some of the characters that I did find a little likable would include the Roach and the Bomb. I did like laugh a lot at some of their lines. Like, I don't think they were really meant to be comedians, but I do like some of the humor that they provided, at least slightly, to the story. And then we're getting into the content part of this review. So there are a lot of revels and debauchery and all of that stuff. Honestly, I don't know what else to say. There's just a lot of it, and that like revels and parties they do actually play a role in the story, so it's kind of hard to skip them, if you know what I mean. Like as far as cussing, there is maybe 1 to 2 B words thrown in there, and then an AH word once or twice. I don't remember that much of it, honestly. And there are mentions of sex and nude, but it isn't really like actually in the story, at least until books 3 and 4. I would like to say that I have read the entire series, and this is my second time rereading it, so I did like it enough to reread it. Now back to the content. There are passionate kisses, so if that's not really your thing, then it's fine. There's only like 1 or 2 scenes with like actual kissing. No wait, there's like 2. There's like 2. And there are mentions of affairs. I'm not going to spoil anything because it is actually, if I were to say any more, I would definitely be spoiling things. It's like many of the characters are like tricksters and they love to play pranks and like just play around with humans. So like I personally don't have a problem with that, but others might, so that's why I am mentioning it. Uh, um, so I do have a couple quotes saved that I love. I will try to um, so I'm going to read them to you, and I'm going to try to keep them as spoiler-free as possible. So one of the more romantic quotes that I absolutely love is, "Most of all, I hate you because I think of you often. It's disgusting, and I can't stop." I love that. I love them so much. And then another quote, so like I should explain a little bit, fairies cannot lie. So this plays a pretty important role in, yeah, it plays a very important role in the series. So I would like to mention that before I read this quote. "Have I told you how hideous you look tonight?" Cardan asks, leaning back in the elaborately carved chair, the warmth of his words turning the question into something like a compliment. "No," I say, glad to be annoyed back into the present. "Tell me." "I can't." That's just very romantic, and I love it. I love it. But yeah, overall, I gave this book 3.5 stars, or like I would also consider it a low 4 stars, mainly because of the content, but also a little bit because I liked a lot of the characters, but I can't say I fell in love with a lot of them. And I mean, I did care what happened in the plot, but I didn't care what happened to them. I mean, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that entirely does. I'm here for you. If you ever need like any good book recommendations or want me to review a book, then just ask me in the comments. I'd be more than happy to. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.